Right now, almost everyone watching this is making one tiny financial mistake that will quietly cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars by retirement, and they will never even notice it happening. Not a bad investment. Not a scam. Not a market crash. Something smaller. Something so ordinary it feels harmless. Here's the strange part. Some people are already protected from this mistake. Not because they're smart with money. Not because they earn more. Many of them couldn't even explain what they're doing right. They just are. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which group you belong to. And I'm going to prove it with real numbers, a true story most people find hard to believe, and one hidden discovery near the end that even surprised the researchers who found it. Let's start with the mistake almost everyone makes. Most people believe retirement is decided by income. Earn more, retire richer. Simple math. Except it isn't. Here's a number that shocks people every time I share it. Someone who invests $200 a month starting at age 25 can retire with more money than someone who invests $300 a month starting at age 35, even though the second person put in more total cash. Same effort. Later start. Massive gap. Why? Because money doesn't grow in a straight line. It grows like a snowball, rolling downhill small at first, almost invisible, and then suddenly unstoppable. The first few years look boring. Nothing seems to be happening. But that quiet decade is exactly where the entire fortune gets built. Which means the real danger isn't a bad decision. It's a good decision made 10 years too late, because it never felt urgent enough to start. So let's break down the 3 signs that reveal which side of that gap you're actually on. Sign number 1. Spending gives you a tiny pinch even when you can afford it. Picture 2 co-workers, same salary, same lifestyle. They grab lunch together every day. One pays without thinking twice. The other pays too, but there's a flicker of hesitation. Just a half-second pause. Most people assume that pause means something's wrong. Maybe they're anxious. Maybe they're cheap. Actually, that half-second pause is one of the strongest predictors of long-term wealth ever measured. Researchers call it cost salience. Your brain's ability to feel the weight of spending, even on small purchases. Here's why this matters more than people realize. Nobody goes broke from one big purchase. They go broke from hundreds of purchases so small they never register a subscription still running, a delivery fee here, an impulse buy forgotten by next week. Every time your brain skips that pause, you're not just spending money. You're quietly handing away a piece of your future retirement without even noticing the transaction happened. People who retire wealthy aren't depriving themselves. Their brain simply installs a smoke detector for spending not loud, not dramatic, just enough to ask, do I actually want this, or am I just reacting? Sign number 2. You automated one boring decision and honestly forgot you did it. Here's something uncomfortable about human willpower. We're excellent at making a smart decision once. We're terrible at repeating that decision every single month for 30 years. This is why I'll save more starting next month rarely survives past March. But the people quietly building wealth stumbled onto something different. At some point, they set up one automatic transfer money redirected before they ever saw it, ever touched it, ever had the chance to talk themselves out of it. Wealthy retirees don't think like savers. They think like architects. They don't rely on daily discipline. They build a system once, and the system does the discipline for them, permanently. There's a term for this, the invisible hand of default. Whatever happens, automatically becomes normal. If saving happens without a decision, saving becomes your identity. If spending happens without a decision, spending becomes your identity. Now here's where it gets interesting because this is usually the exact moment viewers start drifting. So let me pull you back with something you need before we continue. The third sign is the one almost nobody expects. It doesn't look like a money habit at all. It looks like a personality trait most people are quietly ashamed of. Sign number 3. You're comfortable being boring with your money for a very long time. This sounds too simple to matter. Stay with me. There was a well-known case of an employee at a small hardware chain who quietly invested a modest amount from every paycheck into company stock for decades. No trading, no strategy adjustments, no obsessive checking. When he passed away, his estate was worth millions an amount that stunned even his own family, because from the outside, his life looked completely unremarkable. That's not luck. That's the pattern. Humans are wired to crave stimulation, new information, new strategies, constant checking. It feels productive. But in wealth building, that craving is often the exact thing quietly destroying progress. Here's the twist. Almost nobody says out loud. Boredom and success often look identical from the outside. The people who build real wealth frequently just put money into something simple decades ago and then did almost nothing. No panic during downturns, no chasing trends, no emotional roller coaster. Think of it like planting a tree. The most important years are the ones where nothing visible happens underground. Dig it up to check the roots every few months, and you kill it. Growth requires being left alone. We're now past the halfway point, and this is exactly where the real twist shows up, the part that changes how you'll see everything we just covered. These 3 signs aren't separate tricks. They're symptoms of one deeper truth. Most people never hear. Wealth isn't built by information. It's built by behavior. Repeated so consistently, it becomes invisible to the person doing it. Ask most quiet millionaires what their secret was, and they genuinely can't tell you because to them, it never felt like a strategy. It felt like normal Tuesday. So here's what to actually do with this. First, notice your next 10 purchases. Just notice whether the pinch is there or missing. Awareness alone rewires behavior. Second, automate one saving or investing decision today, even a small one. The amount doesn't matter yet. The system does. Third, if you already have long-term investments, practice checking them less. Let time do what time does best. Now, the fact I promised you. And this one genuinely surprised researchers. When analysts studied which retirement accounts performed best over several decades, they expected the top performers to belong to the most active, most informed investors. Instead, the best performing accounts often belonged to people who had forgotten they even had the account. Some hadn't logged in for years. Read that again. The accounts that grew the most belonged to the people paying the least attention, which means the biggest threat to your future wealth might not be a lack of knowledge. It might be too much attention. So if you've ever felt boring, unremarkable, or like you're not doing enough with your money, that feeling might be the exact opposite of what it seems. Sometimes the richest future belongs to the person who simply stopped interrupting it.